Welcome to Wake GOV TV. I'm Eric Curry. We have several stories lined up for you today. We'll share with you details of an initiative that turns landfill gas into energy. Plus, we'll share with you details of Wake County's newest high school. But first, in March of 2009, the Board of Commissioners approved a memorandum of understanding for the creation of the Jordan Lake Partnership, which is designed to make sure that Wake County has an adequate water supply for the years to come. Joining us to talk about the partnership is Eric Staley, Senior Facilities Project Manager for Wake County's Facilities Design and Construction. Thanks so much for being here.
Glad to be here, Eric. Thank you.
Eric, what is the Jordan Lake Partnership?
Well, the Jordan Lake Partnership was established in 2009, like you mentioned. It's made up of 13 governmental agencies. Jordan Lake is a key water source for many municipalities within the Triangle region. And the partnership was created by these jurisdictions and water systems in an effort to jointly plan for the expanded use of Jordan Lake and its future water supply use.
Why was the partnership so important to be created?
Well, the importance of water supply planning as well as development took on a much higher urgency due to the historically significant droughts that the Triangle has experienced since 2001. Now, periodically, water systems and jurisdictions request additional water supply from the state in order to meet their future demands of water needs. Initially, it was thought that during this next allocation request from the state that the water capacity from Jordan Lake may be exceeded. So rather than having the different municipalities and jurisdictions compete for that available water supply, it was thought best to move forward in a partnership so that the groups could work together to kind of come together with a plan that would be agreed upon to meet their future demands. And that's what's happened since 2009. The partnership has worked very collectively together to work on a plan and execute this philosophy.
Why is Wake County a member of this partnership?
Well, there's a portion of Research Triangle Park that is in Wake County jurisdiction. We refer to that as RTP South. RTP cannot be annexed by any of the municipalities, so that remains in Wake County jurisdiction. Now, however, Wake County does not provide any utility services per se, water, sewer, or wastewater treatment. We provide the infrastructure. The town of Cary provides those specific utility services. We have existing agreements in place between Wake, the town of Cary, and Research Triangle Foundation, where Wake County will provide the infrastructure, the pipes, if you will, and the town of Cary provides those utility services. So Wake County's responsibility is to ensure that RTP South continues to get the available utilities for their expansions and their future development, as well as watching over their allocation, again, to ensure that they have their future water supply needed. And it's that relationship between RTP South and Wake County is why Wake County is part of the partnership.
And who are the other partners?
Well, there are 12 additional partners in addition to Wake County. They include Apex, Cary, Chatham County, Durham, Hillsborough, Holly Springs, Morrisville, Orange County, Owassa, Pittsboro, Sanford, and Raleigh. And those group of 12, in addition to Wake County, make up the full partnership.
And what are some of the accomplishments so far from this partnership?
Well, there's been a number of significant accomplishments by the partnership. The first and foremost is the creation of the first collaborative 50-year long-term water use plan that has also been supported by the regional managers. Now, we refer to that as the Triangle Regional Water Supply Plan, and that plan identifies the water service areas in the region. It identifies and forecasts the future demands based on future development in the region. It also identifies all the available water sources above and beyond Jordan Lake. And it comes together and puts together a strategy for each of the different jurisdictions to move forward to make sure that we have enough water in the future. An additional accomplishment by the partnership is the completion of an interconnection system study. And that is a system, a series of recommendations that connects the water systems that are already in place. And the importance of that is it provides the opportunity to isolate any contamination that's in the water system. And it also provides the opportunity to move water throughout the whole network of system in times of drought, so it can service those that are in need during the drought times. Another really important accomplishment that I think brings from the partnership is the ability for the partners to work together in a very collaborative manner. There's been a higher level of communication, partnering, and trust on all matters dealing with water supply. There's also been a heightened level of understanding and commitment for conservation and water demand management, which is basically, water supply is not going to be endless. And each of the jurisdictions and municipalities have come up with strategies to try to conserve water over time so we can use less water over time.
And why is the Triangle Regional Water Supply Plan so important?
Well, the outcome of the plan calls for the expanded use of Jordan Lake to its fullest extent and its fullest capacity by the year 2060. So with the full use of Jordan Lake as well as the other available water supplies, the plan indicates that it is a viable plan that will serve the region for its full water supply based on the demand. So I think it's very significant that there's water available through 2060 to supply the region. In addition, by having consensus, this is an agreed upon regional plan alternative. By having that in place, it makes moving forward the plan a lot more feasible in the future. One other important aspect of the plan is it provides the support for the Jordan Lake allocation. As I mentioned previously, jurisdictions go to the state and request additional water supply for their future needs. We're going through that process now, which is called the Jordan Lake allocation. And having this regional plan supported by everyone really helps support and strengthens the allocation request process.
And finally, how long will this partnership continue?
Well, it's been established since 2009, so it's been in place for 5 years. We just recently agreed upon an amendment to extend the term of that partnership for another 5 years to 2019. So the partners plan to continue to work together in a collaborative manner. It has been an extraordinary partnership working together, and the plan is to continue to do that for at least the next 5 years.
Okay, Eric Staley with Wake County's Facilities Design and Construction. Thanks so much for being here.
Great, thank you very much.
Up next, we'll share with you details about Wake County's newest high school, and we'll also show you what's being done to educate parents about the dangers of leaving your kids in high cars. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Scott, and I invite you to take the Green Office Challenge. Wake Tech needs your help to lead the way. So, take the challenge. Help us create a sustainable future.
In August, the Wake County Board of Commissioners and the Wake County Board of Education will officially dedicate the opening of the Vernon Malone College and Career Academy, named after the late Vernon Malone, who served on both boards before later serving as a state senator. The county's new career and technical education high school is located in the former Coca-Cola plant on South Wilmington Street near downtown Raleigh. The CTE High School is a collaborative endeavor between the Wake County Public School System, Wake Technical Community College, and Wake County government. It will be the first high school in the district to focus on teaching students job skills.
The Vernon Malone College and Career Academy partnership between Wake County Public Schools and Wake Tech is a result of the desire by all three parties, the third party being the Wake County Commissioners, to provide more technical education for high school students. The school board and the Board of Trustees at Wake Tech have been looking for different ways to partner so that high school students can come out of high school and have a saleable job skill and be able to get a job, or be prepared to go on for further technical education and in 1 year or less have completed a 2-year community college associate degree.
The thing that really makes our school unique is the fact that the college courses are delivered on site. Typically in an early college type atmosphere, the students go to the college site, but in this situation we have the Wake Tech instructors here on our campus, and they will be teaching those college level classes in the high school building during the school day. And so it's a real advantage for students that they're able to have college instructors earn college credit in the same building where they earn their high school credits for graduation. And that is a very unique model. So first of all, we're looking for students who have a passion for the program that they're applying to. It's a special student who can take college courses early. And so we're looking for that student who both has the passion and can take the college courses early. And when things are difficult, classes are difficult, if they have the passion, they'll persevere through the difficulties in their college level classes.
What I'm most excited about coming to Vernon Malone is also my friends are coming, and also I'm able to learn a trade that I can use throughout my high school career and also my adulthood. The reason that I want to attend to a traditional high school was because this provides me with a better opportunity to excel in my job force, and also I can get back to my community and I can find a job that won't be outsourced.
This is a great benefit for Wake County in that high school students have a new opportunity, a different opportunity, and can move into careers. For example, have you noticed on the highway these repair trucks that say plumbing, electrical, and HVAC? And so that kind of technician is in high demand, someone who can do all three, and so that when they come to your home or your business, they can repair your plumbing, your electrical, or your HVAC. So that, once again, is a win-win that's meeting the industry needs as well as the consumer needs as well as the student needs for employment.
So I think our primary relationship with Wake Tech is that they are an integral partner in that they provide the faculty for our 10 programs. They have their classroom spaces, the 10 classroom spaces, and they hire the employees, the faculty, to teach in those program areas. Also, we're very excited that they will be working with our teachers to design projects for the students. So we will rely on their expertise for that as well.
Wake Tech's role at the Vernon Malone College and Career Academy is to provide the on-site technical training for the high school students, and the high school will provide the general education, the English, the math, and the sciences. So it becomes a win-win situation that instructors from the college have impact on those students, and at the same time they also have the nurturing from the high school itself. Wake Tech is very excited about this partnership with the public schools and thanks the school board and the Board of County Commissioners for making it happen.
The best source of information about our school is our website, and I would encourage people to go there to start. We have videos about each of the programs and students can see that. All of the technical standards for the programs are there as well, and students need to know what those technical standards are before they apply. Also, in terms of the future, the recruitment period for all of our magnet application schools is in November, and so students should pay attention to the magnet and application fair date in early November, and then we will actually be doing open houses in November as well. And so people can come and tour and see the facility and hear about the programs. And so that's a great time to hear more information. And that will take place in early November as well.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first thing that helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Wake County Human Services has been partnering locally with Safe Kids Wake County and been doing this the past 5 years. And we come out every year, particularly in the warmer seasons, and we like to do demonstrations to demonstrate to people the dangers of leaving children unattended in a hot vehicle. And we use temperature display to do that. We show the internal temperature of the vehicle as well as the outside temperature. And then we actually cook s'mores in the vehicle and serve to the public, which gives us a chance to converse and talk with them about the dangers of leaving children unattended in the vehicle. This event is important. Already this year alone, since April, we've had 13 children die nationally that were left in a vehicle. And what people don't understand is children are so much more vulnerable, as well as pets. Children heat up 3 to 5 times faster than adults do. So at 100, they will exhibit issues with hypothermia, and 107, that equals organ failure and death. So we're demonstrating to people how much vulnerable and what a short period of time that can happen. Within 10 minutes, the internal vehicle temperature rises 20 degrees every 10 minutes. So it can happen in a very short period of time.
About 3 years ago, on May 29th, day before Memorial Day 2011, I was on my way out of town and I got a call from my son, a friend of his, who told me that something had happened in Clarksville, Mississippi, where my son was a minister of music at a church. His wife sang in the choir. They were late getting to church that morning. They arrived at church and his wife got out, took their older child in the church, and he was to get the baby, who was my 3-month-old grandson, out of the back of the car. Well, he was trying to get his keyboard as well, so he asked a church member to get the son, and apparently the church member did not hear him. And everybody thought the other one had gotten him, and so they went into the church. And for the next 2.5 hours, they were in worship services, thinking the child was in daycare. And the child was left in the car seat, 93 degrees outside, windows up, in the church parking lot. And unfortunately, when they arrived at the car, he had already succumbed. They did go to the ER, but again, he was already gone. An event like this is so important because it brings about the awareness and hopefully the prevention of heat stroke among children. Unfortunately, many people think that it can't happen to them, and it does happen. And so we're just trying to get the word out to help people understand that it is something that is preventable, does not have to happen.
Our main goal today, if nothing alone, is we know that we want people, the public, to understand something from us, and we are doing our best in this community to make people understand, if you see a child unattended, to please call 911. Locally in North Carolina, we have had, in the past week, we have had 2 near misses. These were children that were left unattended, and someone called 911. And so those children, there were 3 locally, there was another child in another county in North Carolina recently. Those were 4 children that we're prayerful that, fortunately, it didn't happen, that if that person had not called 911, we don't know what that outcome would have been with those children. So we want the public to make that commitment to the children in this community to call 911 if you see children left unattended in a vehicle. We tell people if they would like more information that they can always contact us here at Wake County Human Services, and we go out in the community and we are happy to do programs to talk specifically just about this project. So they can go online to WakeGov and find our information about our injury prevention program and go out and talk to the community and talk to groups about, because what we depend on is we depend on the people in the community to join us and help us spread this message. So we're happy to do that. We also tell parents, go to safekidsworldwide.org and go online. You can sign the pledge online, and you can get information on Safe Kids website about the issue and what we're talking about.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Welcome back. The Wake County Board of Commissioners recently toured the South Wake Landfill's gas to energy facility in Apex. This gas collection and control system opened in September of 2013 to create energy to power homes and industry services. The methane gas produced by biodegradable materials in the landfill is collected and converted into electrical power. The power is then sold to Duke Energy, with Wake County receiving 22% of the gross revenues. Joining us to talk about this important project is John Robertson, Wake County's Solid Waste Management Director. Thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
John, can you first tell us a little bit about how this project was all developed?
Sure. We opened the South Wake Landfill in 2008. That was after closing the North Wake Landfill. And from having done this before, we recognized that shortly after developing a landfill gas will come about. So we started about in 2009 the process of starting two projects. One was to create a collection and control system for the landfill gas. And basically by control, we would basically burn that gas. And it helps control odors, help control environmental damage just by burning that gas. Ultimately, that appears wasteful. So the other project we started at the same time was an idea of, which is becoming more and more common in the United States and around the world, of doing a gas to energy project. We issued RFPs, requests for proposals, to a number of firms. We received 7 proposals, so there were a number of firms very interested in this project. We ultimately shortlisted to 2 or 3, or actually 3, and then reduced down to 2 from there. And in 2011 2010 and 11 came to the conclusion of selecting Ingenco for doing that work, who is a firm out of Richmond, Virginia.
Now, a little quick science project question. How is the gas produced in landfills?
You touched on it in your intro about biodegradable. As you know, when people throw away their trash, included in that trash are a lot of biodegradable items. Your food waste, any paper waste, anything that is biodegradable in your waste. Then once it gets into the landfill environment, oxygen is reduced. It begins a process of converting or creating a landfill gas, of which typically about 50% is methane of the gas that's produced. So when you have 50% methane included in that gas stream, that's obviously an potential energy source.
Is there a figure as the amount of gas that can be produced from a landfill such as South Wake?
Yeah, the Environmental Protection Agency has all sorts of calculations and standards about how much a landfill can generate. It really just depends on what gets thrown away in that landfill. And our landfill is primarily a municipal solid waste landfill, so basically it's household waste from people, which is actually an ideal source for making landfill gas. So we've been in operation since 2008. Here it is in mid-2014. And that landfill, we are able to capture about 1,300 to 1,400 standard cubic feet per minute. It converts to millions of cubic feet in a day and those sorts of things. So we are collecting a significant amount of gas. Now that gas will grow over time. As the landfill grows, we will expand our collection system to collect more. We believe that peak is in the 5,000 to 6,000 CFM in the future. but right now we're at about the 12 to 1,400.
Can you describe just how the gas is collected and ultimately passing through Ingenco machinery and then onto Duke?
Certainly. We have wells that are basically installed into the landfill. So if you imagine a large mound of trash, it gets covered every day with soil or some appropriate cover mechanism. But we drill these wells into that waste. Those wells have slots in them, and we have solid piping that goes back to a blower flare station. That blower basically is putting negative pressure or suction, sort of like a vacuum cleaner does, on those wells, and basically extracts that landfill gas out of that hill. Once we receive that in through the blower, basically we have two choices. It can be sent to the flare, which is basically a big, for lack of another term, candlestick that's up in the air that we can light and basically burn the gas, as we did the first couple of years that system was operational. What we're doing now primarily, and really over 99% of the time, instead of sending it to the flare, we're sending this gas to Ingenco. And basically it goes through another set of pipes to Ingenco. And in their facility, they basically take the landfill gas, which I mentioned earlier is about 50% methane, mixing a small amount of number 2 fuel oil, which is basically diesel, probably in the 2 to 4% by volume. They mix that in a proprietary piece of equipment that they've developed and take that into a diesel, effectively large diesel truck engine, basically burn that landfill gas and number 2 fuel oil, and basically on the back side of that are able to generate electricity just as your car or truck engine does. They capture that energy and basically through transformers and those sorts of things send it back to Duke Progress, and Duke is able to take that electricity, and it's used by primarily those electrons created at our site are used by people in the Holly Springs Apex area.
Why is this project such a good deal for the taxpayers of Wake County?
Really, it's a good deal on so many different fronts. First, on the environmental side, we're getting rid of a negative byproduct of a landfill. This methane gas is potentially very harmful to the environment from a greenhouse gas perspective. So we're destroying that harmful piece environmentally. On a odor perspective, we're dealing with an odor issue. Landfills create odor. Methane gas or the components of methane gas can be malodorous, and we're able to destroy that. And then just on the economic side, between the jobs that Ingenco creates by their business being there, and then on top of that, the creation of that energy and the economic benefit that the county receives from that. It gives us the ability to improve our facilities, whether it be at the landfill or it be some of our other solid waste facilities around the county.
John Robertson, Wake County's Solid Waste Management Director, thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Keep up with the latest Wake County news by visiting us online at thenewwakegov.com/news or on Facebook or Twitter. That's our show for today. Thanks again for watching.